Chapter 12, Lypye, Jagwerye's Perspective. Syara had had an emergency at the life tower, so Hyena and I traveled together as a duo on patrol. I had stopped on the roof of a building a little farther down from the place I assumed to be Jasmine's house. Over the course of the past few months, I've slowly attempted to follow her to her place. Hyena laid on the roof, clearly bored, while I spied from a distance, watching Jasmine. "You know what you're doing is called stalking, right?" Hyena questioned. "If that girl is in danger, I need all the evidence I can get," I responded. He sighed. "I know Lypye better than you. She'll hesitate to kill the mortal." I turned to look at him. "You mean like how she hesitated to kill Carr?" He sat up and looked at me. "Carr was an immortal. Jasmine's a fragile immortal. She doesn't exactly have any record of directly killing a mortal." I took a deep breath. "Sometimes I wish Lypye and I could sit down and talk, discuss everything." Hyena stayed quiet, appearing to be looking behind me. I followed his gaze and looked over to see Lypye, disguised as Syara, now sitting with Jasmine. They both seemed upset. Not angry, just sad. Lypye pulled out a piece of paper and handed it over to Jasmine. I wanted to get a better look, but I wasn't going to risk them spotting me. "I've never seen her this calm," Hyena exclaimed. I looked at him, shocked and confused. "Really?" He nodded. "Usually she's just angry." I stared at them, curious, as Jasmine grabbed her hand. Maybe Pantheria was right all along, and I just refused to believe it. She had said that the cycle would break, and Hyena indicated that Lypye might be able to be changed by someone who didn't know her well. Maybe I had been looking at this all wrong. No doubt Jasmine may have been in danger at some point, but I think that has changed. Slowly, it seems like Jasmine is forming a friendship with her, and this might be the right step in pulling her away from evil. I felt a punch in my shoulder, then held it. "Ow! What was that for?" "I've been calling you," Hyena pointed out. "Mind sharing your thought process?" "What if Jasmine is not a hostage anymore, but a miracle?" I asked. Hyena thought for a moment. "That could be a possibility." He looked back down at Jasmine, who was alone again. "From what I've noticed, Jasmine has a short temper, but a very understanding and accepting personality. She doesn't always judge a book by its cover." "Maybe that is why she did not signal us," I suggested. He shrugged. "That's a possibility." I sat down, watching Jasmine climb back through the window. This mortal, although it sounds ridiculous, might be the key to breaking our cycle. When I found Lypye with Carr's body, I was so obsessed with keeping order in the God world, so I didn't hesitate to banish her from the God world. Now all I think I did was fuel her anger. Not a day goes by where I don't regret not talking to her about the situation. "I'm going to go patrol around City Hall. Make sure Lypye isn't a distraction." He ran, jumping rooftop after rooftop. Hyena is currently the fastest god in existence. I sighed. He's right. We've been so focused on Lypye that we forgot all about the 3 henchmen that could be creating something. I closed my eyes and took a few deep breaths before breaking down and crying. I loved all of my family, including Lypye. My fear got the best of me and most likely ruined my chances of having a sisterly relationship with her. Chapter 13, Intertwined, Jasmine's Perspective. The next day, being Sunday, I decided to take Lypye to the mall. Or more like drag her there as Syara. "I don't see what we're doing here," Lypye whined. "Mom gave me $200 to spend the day with you," I pointed out. "I hate the mall as well, but I figured we could look around." She threw her head back, groaning. "Oh, stop acting like a child." I grabbed her wrist and pulled her into a clothing store. "Maybe you can pick out something you like. Not something that matches your evil persona. Not Sarah Brown. Something that makes you, as a cat human, She nodded and went over to the jeans. I followed quietly behind her, browsing as I walked. I noticed her start fanning through some stone-washed black skinny jeans, and she pulled out her size. She held them up to her waist. "So, what do you think?" I thought for a moment. "I think it would look good, but you need to try it on to see what you think." She held onto it and pulled me over to the shirts. I don't know what I'd like. What's your favorite color? I asked. The absence of color. I shrugged. So black. We began looking. We probably were searching for about 20 minutes before I heard Lypye call my name. I walked over to see her holding up a shirt, smirking. It was a black crop top with the word darkness and a white blood drip font on it. I giggled, understanding the reference, and ushered her off to the changing rooms. As I was waiting, I saw a flash of orange. Glancing over, I saw Jay in an orange sundress walking over to me. Hey, she said, sitting down next to me. Oh, hi, I responded awkwardly. Look, she sighed. I am going to apologize for my actions towards you and your sister. Your sister, I whispered before grabbing the back of her hand. I can forgive you, but you'll need to prove it to her. We heard the door to the changing room open, and both of us looked over to see Lypye wearing the new clothes. I really like this. Jay? Jay waved shyly. Yeah. Lypye crossed her arms. What you're doing is called stalking. Why does... She took a deep breath. I saw Jasmine and came over to say hi. Lypye narrowed her eyes in suspicion. I know my opinion does not matter to you, but for the record, that outfit looks cute. Lypye stared at her, clearly taken aback by the compliment. Thank you. I really think this is me. I stood up. What about taking your hair out of that ponytail and holding it back with a hairband? I looked at Lypye. If that's cool with you. She nodded. Lypye and I bought her clothes and a black metal headband with holes in it to create some fancy swirls. She changed back into the clothes after paying. She and I walked side by side while Jay trailed behind us quietly. Trying hard not to show how awkward it felt to be in the middle of a sibling rivalry, I beckoned for Jay to catch up. So, Jay, I started, would you like to grab something to eat with us? I saw Lypye tense up and start grumbling to herself. I do not think Syara would like me tagging along, she mumbled. I elbowed Lypye's arm, gritting my teeth. Of course she would. Lypye rubbed her arm inside. Yeah, come on. We all ordered the same thing, a tuna melt with a bottle of milk, and then sat down at the table. Isn't this nice? I asked before taking a bite. They both nodded silently. I sighed. The tension between you two is getting really old. What's wrong? Jazz, you of all people know what's wrong. Lypye snapped. Wait, so she does know? Jagwerye asked. Lypye gave an annoyed smile. Yeah, and she knows you as well. Now that that's cleared up, Jagwerye grabbed my arm. Why did you not signal my team? Lypye chuckled. Oh, don't you dare cross that line. What? You most likely threatened her. There is no way she agreed to help you. Why? Because I'm evil? Lypye asked in a threatening tone. Well, kid, did she force you? Don't pull her into our argument. Shut up! I yelled. Look, if I was in any danger, I would let you know, Jay. My mom told Syara and I to hang out at the mall, and since this is her first time being here, I wanted to explore around with her. They both stared at me in shock. Well then, maybe let's go to some place we could all have fun, Lypye suggested. I thought for a moment. The arcade! We finished our food and ran all the way to the other side of the mall. I went in first, leading them to a few good games. From table pong to air hockey to various shooter games, we all had a great time. It was probably the first time I saw Lypye and Jagwerye in the same room, laughing, with little to no hostility between the two of them.